Why you pulled me into this neighborhood, isn't that un-American to find Jim Irsay for speaking out and trying to make things better? See, they don't want that because it makes them look bad. It makes people uncomfortable. They don't like to be made to look uncomfortable. And this gets back to the question I get asked from time to time. Why do you hate the NFL? I don't hate the NFL. I just want the people who run it to do their jobs. I hold them to a higher standard. It's back to John Facenda and NFL Films. It's your fault, NFL and NFL Films. You never should have bought NFL Films and lured a generation of kids into thinking that you're better than you are. You're not. And Jim Irsay is trying to make you better than you are. And you're going to fine him for it? I hope they fine him for it so I can blast them for fining him for it. Why shouldn't one of the owners be allowed to speak out publicly? Why does it all have to be behind closed doors? Because the problem is, and I'm a firm believer, Charean, in teamwork. And, if we have an issue at PFT with the writers, I take it up with the person privately. It rarely happens, thank God. But everybody works hard and does a good job. But you don't call people out publicly when you're trying to operate effectively. Derek Carr last week, you don't call all your receivers out on the field when you know the cameras are watching everything you do. But there is a point where if you try all the other stuff and it doesn't work, yeah, maybe you say something. Maybe you go, and why shouldn't you be allowed to say something? If the NFL officiating is problematic, if we have an obvious incident at the end of a game that everybody's upset about, Colts fans and those who had the Colts money line, yeah, why can't he say something about it? And then there's the question of, okay, the prudent thing to do is to handle it privately, but we hear about free speech all the time, free speech, free speech, free speech. Why can't he say it if he wants to say it? Why can't he say it? So I hope they fine him because that'll create another issue. And see, sometimes I think they shy away from picking that fight because they don't want it to continue. It's all driven by PR. How are people going to react to this? Yeah. Oh, we need to fine him for running his mouth. Well, wait a minute. How are they going to react? How are they going to react if we fine them? Maybe we shouldn't fine them. Maybe we should give them a pass on. Maybe we just send out a memo reminding everyone. So they did with the fights last week. They should have ejected players. They should have fined players in the pregame fights that happened last week. There were two of them, 49ers, Browns, and Cowboys, Chargers. They sent out a memo reminding everyone where this stuff is frowned upon. Instead of punishing the people for the rules that were already on the books, I think because the officials screwed up and let the teams get too close together. So they had a PR reason to not go down that path because the blowback would have been, why the hell did you let these teams get so close together? You know what the rules are about keeping them separated. So my point is this. If they find Jim Irsay, they have to ask themselves, what kind of reaction is there going to be? Not, did he violate the rules? And do we apply the rules as written, regardless of whether they're good or bad? Are we not going to fine him because we don't want this to continue? We don't want jerks like Florio to keep talking about the situation. We just want it to go away. We want to go back to row your boat gently down the stream. So it'll be very interesting to see if he gets fined and if we find out about the fine.
Well, and the other thing that's going to be interesting, Mike, is in the offseason, do the Colts write up a proposal to the competition committee and submit it to exactly what Irsay said, make everything reviewable in the final 2 minutes? And I would be curious how, I don't think, just off the top of my head, I don't think that they would get the 24 votes necessary to overturn this. But who knows? It's never been brought up. So I would love to see them write up a proposal, and I expect, based on what he tweeted last night, that they will present a proposal to the competition committee for exactly this. Let's make it all reviewable. And the obvious answer to this, or reason not to do it, is it's going to bog down games because we missed too many calls in the final 2 minutes, that this could just go on and on and on and prolong these games. But to me, Mike, the final answer is you want to get things right, especially with the game on the line in the final 2 minutes. If that play had happened in the first quarter, we would be talking about it, but we wouldn't be talking about it like we're talking about today. It wouldn't be leading this show today. But because it happened right at the end of the game and helped decide that game, that's why we're talking about it. So he does have a point about the final 2 minutes.
Well, and it reminds me of the Foster Moreau drop on Thursday night. Part of the aftermath was many reasons contribute to losing a game. Things that happen in the first quarter, second quarter, third quarter. But it always gets magnified at the end of the game. When it gets... Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.